Good afternoon, my name is Deb Day and welcome back to the channel. And today I want to bring you a healthy recipe because frankly everybody needs a little dessert every now and then. And finding the healthy ones is sometimes difficult. So today is a yogurt chocolate peanut butter cup dessert that I am modifying. Now I will put the original recipe in the description and I'll explain the changes that I'm making as I go. First, it calls for Greek yogurt. Now, I'm allergic to dairy, so I am using a plant-based. Now the problem with the plant-based yogurt is it's a lot thinner than the Greek yogurt, so you have to make some changes to adjust for that. So for that purpose, I'm adding protein powder. Protein in dessert is always an amazing thing. To help thicken it up. So I will show you what I'm going to do, and I will put, as I said, the recipe in the comments, the original one, and I will put the modifications that I'm making. So the first thing that it's calling for, and frankly, I always double up. And even when I made it the first time, I doubled up because anything with peanut butter and chocolate's got my vote. So I'm just going to give this a stir here because it can sometimes get a little separated, and I don't want that to be the case, but you can tell, I'm going to put that in there so if I spill any, I'm not making a mess. You can tell that it's quite loose. So I'm going for 1 cup instead of the half cup. Now, I'm not a baker, but I love finding stuff that works. I love finding recipes that work that I have no problem giving my grandson, who is going to be doing a taste test for us at the end. Okay, so in that goes. Now, the peanut butter I also pre-measured, so you can choose unsweetened or whatever. This is just a regular peanut butter. I have made it where I have used 50% peanut butter and 50% nut butter, which it still has that nice smooth flavor to it, but it doesn't necessarily mean it has that nice peanut butter flavor that you want. Now, if you're going to use a nut butter, I would suggest that you get a spreadable one, or make sure that you can heat it a little bit before you go. That might be beneficial as well. So I'm just going to stir to mix it. This is fast. So just mixing it to that creamy texture. Now, the next thing we're going to put in is honey. Now, what I have here is an unpasteurized honey, a raw honey. And it might not mix quite the same way that a pasteurized one would, but the health benefits are crazy good. 1 tablespoon. So. And it calls for a teaspoon of vanilla. Now the first time I made this, I forgot the vanilla altogether, but it was still delicious. So I'm just going to cut back a little under the 2 tablespoons or 2 teaspoons. And another stir. Oh, it's already smelling amazing. So that whipped consistency. So here's where you have to use your judgment because it's still a little floppy, a little loose. This is where protein powder comes in. I'm using a vanilla, one of the protein powders that I use all the time and often use it for baking. So I'm going to start with, I don't know, 1.5 scoops maybe, just to see how that tightens it up. I will also put the link for this particular protein powder in the comments. The thing that I like about this particular protein powder is it is a vanilla chai. Now, chai is a misnomer because it doesn't, to me, have a chai flavor, but it doesn't have the typical vanilla flavor, and it's very smooth and it gives a wonderful flavor when you're adding it to desserts. And it's still a little loose, so I'm going to add another scoop. So each 2 of these scoops is equal to 24 grams of protein with all the other vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that you would want in a meal. So when you're adding that to a dessert or a summer treat that you want to have healthy but still enjoy. So when I make these, I keep them in the freezer. So on those hot days, and because it's still a little bit loose, now the danger of adding too much protein powder is you don't want it to taste powdery. A little more won't hurt. And just a pinch of salt. Himalayan, of course. That's a pinch. Now, I cook a lot, and I love freewheeling, and I love freewheeling the kitchen, so which doesn't necessarily make for a good baker. But for a recipe like this, I can do that. Now, there we are. The consistency is a lot closer to what you would want. So now what we're gonna do is plunk it into this dish. Now, I got this on Amazon, and the thing that I liked about it is because it's silicone. So when you make these desserts, when they're frozen, you can just pop them out. Found this one that's got the metal liner, so I can easily put it in the freezer. God, I hope you're not trying to read this crooked. You like my apron? I love my apron. I'll put the link for this in the comments. Well, the most tedious thing about this recipe is filling the cups consistently. And if you have something that you can, which I don't, so I'm using a spoon, that you can just fill and plop, 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 like you do when you're making cookies, like a baker might have, that might be helpful to you as well. When you're filling the cups, remember to leave enough room at the top, because we're gonna melt some dark chocolate chips and fill the top of them. So there's my attempt at filling the pan evenly. Now let's get some chocolate ready. So here we are with our melted chocolate, and we're just going to drizzle . So there you have it. Some of you can see are more covered with chocolate and some are just swirls. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna pop this into the freezer, and we are going to let that set for a couple of hours so that you can pop them out. And we'll be back in a moment to taste these. Well, we are back with our frozen desserts, and my grandson is here. He's gonna do some tasting for us. So with this pan, it's easy to pop it out. Do you want one with a lot of chocolate or a little chocolate? Of course, a lot of chocolate. Now, they can be messy and they can be a little greasy, so you might want to have a piece of paper towel or a napkin with it. So what do you think?
It's really good.
It's really good? Well, there you have it. If you can please your grandson, then it's good for everybody. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time. And remember, our goal is to be the healthiest version of ourselves possible so we can live that kick-ass life. Enjoy your day.